Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I am Star, and I'm here with a prophetic dream from God. So, in this dream, I am helping a friend and her husband get along better, okay? And I'm doing this through counsel, okay? She starts to go over the story of them arguing in order for me to help them not to argue anymore. As she starts going over this message of their dispute, I found out that during this dispute, she was, instead of trying to diffuse the situation, egging him on. It like basically what she was doing is every time he would start talking about something, like she would mock him, or she would make it out to be that he was whining, or he was being a punk. I hear like it's almost like she wasn't taking his feelings to heart. She wasn't trying to understand how he felt. She didn't care to understand how he felt. And I understand how this feels because I've been through this before, where I was in a relationship with someone and we would get into it about something stupid, something small, and they would, instead of trying to diffuse the situation, make it bigger than what it was. And I'm not even gonna say my opinion on that, but obviously, when someone is showing that, regardless to whom this is that's watching the video, when you are showing your spouse, or when your spouse is showing you this, it kind of makes you feel like that person does not want to be with you. It kind of makes you feel like that person doesn't want to work it out. It makes you feel like that person does not care. And it is not good to give off the energy that you do not care, especially if it is someone that you care about. Obviously, they showed up for counseling, so they care. They do want to be with that person. And if you want to be with someone, you should not take the advice of someone else to make that person feel like they are unimportant. If you want to be with someone, you don't take advice from someone that is telling you to just let them go, or to just leave, or to just move on. That is what someone who does not care does, okay? Anywho, she was instead of standing down, she was yelling in his face, and it was the complete opposite of what their therapist told them to do. The scripture comes from Ezekiel 45 through 6. I saw a wall completely surrounding the temple area. The length of the measuring rod in the man's hand was 6 long cubits, each of which was a cubit and a handbreadth. He measured the wall. It was 1 measuring rod thick and 1 rod high. Then he went to the east gate. He climbed its steps and measured the threshold of the gate. It was 1 rod deep. The alcoves for the guards were 1 rod long and 1 rod wide. The projecting walls between the alcoves were 5 cubits thick, and the threshold of the gate next to the portico facing the temple was 1 rod deep. Then he measured the portico of the gateway. It was 8 cubits deep, and its jambs were 2 cubits thick. The portico of the gateway faced the temple. Inside the east gate were 3 alcoves on each side. The 3 had the same measurements, and the faces of the projecting walls on each side had the same measurements. Then he measured the width of the entrance of the gateway. It was 5 cubits, and its length was 13 cubits. In front of each alcove was a wall 1 cubit high, and the alcoves were 6 cubits square. Then he measured the gateway from the top of the rear wall of one alcove to the top of the opposite one. The distance was 25 cubits from one parapet opening to the opposite one. He measured along the faces of the projecting walls all around the inside of the gateway 60 cubits. The measurement was up to the portico facing the courtyard. The distance from the entrance to the gateway to the far end of its portico was 50 cubits. The alcoves and the projecting walls inside the gateway mounted by narrow parapet openings all around, as was the portico. The openings all around faced inward. The faces of the projecting walls were decorated with palm trees. Oh, that's so nice. My name means palm tree, my real name. But anyways, I feel like with the scripture, God is saying, get your house in order, okay? Like I said, I feel like this is for a couple that wants to be together. This is not for someone that you have completely given up. Whomever this woman is, regardless if it is the woman or the man that is doing this and trying to make, I feel like God is saying they're making a mockery out of it. Whoever this person is, they are aggressive. They like to argue. They like to fight. And instead of finding peace, they want to find drama. And then once the drama has happened, they act as if nothing is wrong, or as if they did nothing wrong, or as if they were trying to solve the problem when no, they were actually causing the problem. I feel like with this scripture, God is saying you need to go back, do the math, and try again. Because what you were doing in this relationship is not what God wanted you to be doing in this relationship. You have been basically making a mockery out of your partner and out of God, because God sent you your partner. You don't want to be in a position where God sent you somebody and you have been tormenting them and driving them crazy, or you have been mistreating them, because that is what was happening in this dream. This woman was mistreating this man. He was trying to fix it. He wanted to solve the problem. And instead of her allowing him to solve the problem, she made it worse. And like I said, I feel like just like she came to me for help, she had came to other people for help. And I feel like the other people that she came to for help were giving her incorrect advice. They didn't want to see her in a relationship. They didn't want to see her happy. And instead of giving her the advice that you should work it out with your spouse, y'all should talk amongst each other. Don't try to make a fight out of it. Don't try to be like this. Don't try to be like that. They told her the opposite of what she should do, and in fact caused it to get worse. So basically the message is, go back to the drawing board with your spouse and stop putting other people in the middle of your relationship. It's just like in the scripture, this was one man going around measuring everything. Okay, I feel like God is saying that you are allowing too many other people to come into the situation. They don't need to be into the situation. This is something between you and your spouse, and that's it. Okay, a man leaves his father and mother to go and be with his wife. For somebody. For somebody. You have to, and it's not saying that you can never talk to your family again. It's not saying you can never talk to your friends again. But as far as putting them in the middle of your relationship, it is not meant to be that way. And situations like this is why. You do not want someone else projecting how they feel and what they have going on and what they be going through in their relationship onto your relationship. Because you can very well cause yourself a lot of heartache and a lot of turmoil. You could very well cause that relationship to come to an end when it wasn't meant to. I feel like with this scripture, God is saying it was perfectly built. Perfect. Everything was going very well. Everything, this is the as somebody who has built before, are learning to build, okay? But, you know, as someone who is learning to build, learning how to do foundation, learning how to lay block, learning how to build a structure, this is literally someone building a structure. Your relationship is that structure. You and your spouse are the only ones that are building this structure. Not your parents, not your friends, nobody else but you and your spouse. The only other person you should have overlooking your structure is God, and that's it. You cannot allow other people to give you advice that will potentially destroy the structure. You don't want somebody to come in and say, well, I think the square should be 23, not 25. And then it's going to throw everything off. Everything is going to be thrown off. Because here come this clown with their measurement that they pulled out of their head or that they got from what they were building. But what they were building don't have nothing to do with what you're building. It's two completely different structures. You can't take everybody's advice. What's for them over there may not work for you over here. They may have an aggressive partner So they may like getting into it and fighting and then getting along and having intimacy after whatever they got going on. That's them. Okay? You may have a partner that want peace, silence, and tranquility. And if you got a partner that want peace, silence, and tranquility, let me tell you, okay, coming from somebody that love peace, silence, and tranquility, if you keep on poking the bear, eventually you're going to get a reaction, period. It don't matter how quiet they are. It don't matter how peaceful they are. It don't matter how timid they are, shy, all that. Because y'all done already heard some of my stories, okay? I'm a quiet person. I like to stay to myself. I don't like going back and forth with nobody. I'm not about to fight with nobody. But you're not about to punk me, and you're not about to mistreat me and keep on messing with me and think that you're not going to get a reaction out of me, okay? I'm gonna get you gonna leave me alone some way, one way or another, okay? And I feel like in this situation, you have been taking advice from somebody who is the complete opposite of you. Their relationship calls for things your relationship don't call for. Somebody you have been, and I'm gonna even add this in, because on some of these videos about men giving relationship advice to other men and women giving relationship advice to other women, you can't listen to everything that everybody say, because you're not them. And if you are really seeking to have a wife or a husband, you cannot take advice from somebody that don't ever want to get married. You cannot take advice from somebody that is not married. You cannot take advice to somebody that strives to be single. If you plan on being a wife, you can't take advice. I gotta say it again. You can't take advice from somebody that don't want to be married. Yeah, they have some truth to it. Yeah, sometimes they be speaking the real. But me, myself, I try to stay away from it because I want to be a wife. And I realized that when I watch those videos, my head, okay, it gets in my head, and it makes me believe that there's no more good men. It makes me believe that there are no single men that want to be married. It makes me believe that all the men in the world just want to be players forever, and that's not true. And it goes vice versa for a man. If a man starts to believe in his head that every black woman is ghetto, loud, and ridiculous, or if he starts to believe that every black woman is out for his money, and he starts to believe that every black woman is lazy, every black woman is this, every black woman is that, then he's going to start feeling some kind of way towards black women. If a man starts to believe that every woman is a certain kind of way, every woman want to do this, every woman want to party all night, all she want to do is drink, and she want to run the streets, and that's all women want to do. Every woman that he sees or that he gets involved with, he's going to push that narrative on them. And he's going to make it because in his mind, because of what he has listened to, what he has been watching, and what he has been paying attention to, he now believes that that is the only possibility. He doesn't believe that there's another possibility. He doesn't realize there are a whole group of each nationality that act completely different. Everybody is not the same. All black women not the same. All white women not the same. All Asian women not the same. We all different. Every single person has their own personality. Every person on this world is unique to themselves. And if you allow yourself to be listening and brainwashed, is what God is saying. If you allow yourself to be brainwashed by bitter people who have not taken out the time to go out of their own idea of what they want. Because in reality, they steady talking about the same kind of woman or the same kind of man because that's what they want. And they want to turn what they want into what they in actuality don't want. Because if they wanted a woman that was a certain kind of way, there are plenty women like that. There are plenty women that are perfect wives. There are plenty women that are business women with their own money. There are plenty women that have all of these attributes that a lot of these men complain about a certain kind of woman not having. But in reality, instead of them going after the woman that have what they want, They keep wanting to pick on the women that don't have what they want. Let them be them. Let them do what they do. It don't have nothing to do with you. And this is a message for some. You need to stop listening to people that don't want what you want. You need to stop listening to people that have a whole different idea of marriage than you do. You need to stop listening to people that their relationship is based on nonsense. If you want to be in a relationship where you and your spouse are just, it's just y'all two, okay? Y'all just I think it's monogamy, but I'm not sure, so I'm not gonna use that word. It's just y'all two. Ain't no cheating, ain't no three ways, ain't no nothing, none of that going on. Y'all two, and y'all two riding it out together forever. You can't take advice from somebody that want to sleep, that want to be married, but they want to sleep around with whoever they want to on the side. You can't take advice from them, because the advice they gonna give you is gonna be coming from their point of view. And if your point of view is different from their point of view, how can you possibly take advice from them? Really, seriously. And a lot of these men that are coming on here saying that they never want to be married, that's their MO. They just want to sleep with whoever they want to sleep with, whenever they want to sleep with them. And that's their MO. But the audacity of them to come on a platform and tell men that want to be married that they shouldn't want to be married is ridiculous. You have to watch what you listen to. You have to guard your ears at all times. You have to watch who is giving you advice. You have to watch what are their ethics. Okay, is it ethics? What is their ethic code? What are their morals? There we go. What are their morals? How do they really feel? Do they really want to be a faithful man? Are they striving to be a player forever? If they striving to be a player forever, then their player mentality and your marriage mentality is not going to mix. And they are going to eventually turn you from wanting to be marriage material into being player material. And that's just real. And that's the message, okay? You cannot, if you want to have a very, God keeps saying monogamous, so maybe that's the word. It must be. Okay, but if you want to have a monogamous relationship, you want it just to be you and your spouse, you cannot take advice from somebody that want to sleep around. You cannot take advice from somebody, if you want to have a peaceful marriage, you can't take advice from somebody that like fighting with their spouse all night. And that is the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.